don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in. Leg out.
That's what many people tend to do. They tend to hate on people from the outside looking in. In this personal story, um, I just want to talk to y'all about something that I encountered as a young man. I had a close friend, played football, did a whole bunch of sports. This guy was probably about 6'1", 6'2", um, stocky kid that we all knew would go D1, play D1 football and stuff. And throughout our time period in high school, I would always ask him, and a lot of our friends would ask him, "Hey, bro, you got all these girls that's trying to talk to you. Why wouldn't you give them the time of day, or why wouldn't you talk to them like most boys would do?" He would inform us that he was more focused on his studies and his athletics and things of that nature, so he really didn't have time for it. However, as we got further in our high school careers, one day he pulled me to the side and had discussed with me some things that he's been encountering, and these things and thoughts and ideas have been going on since he was a child. Um, he later on informed me that he liked men. He liked his same sex, and that he didn't know how to deal with this issue because, as I stated previously in the presentation, many of the people in our community tend to look at that as a negative component or a negative thing, especially with him being a quote unquote athletic god. Nobody wanted to see him in this light. So throughout our junior and senior year, it was a lot of educational based things and a lot of learning and growing. He was my friend, so I really stuck by him and the way that he thought, his thought process, and things of that nature. Um, Being a heterosexual male with a homosexual friend, most people would sit there and be like, "That's crazy. Like, you shouldn't be partaking in that type of thing." However, he really needed a support system. He really needed somebody to help him out so that he wouldn't have to go down a negative route. We researched and found out that a lot of homosexuals, when exposing themselves, they tend to be targeted. They tend to be have to rely on other means in order to deal or cope with the issues that come across them. Some of these coping mechanisms can be cutting themselves, utilizing drugs or abusing drugs, drinking themselves to death. Even some things could be physical components, hurting themselves, hurting others, and things of this nature. So, with my friend during this time, I took a stance to really assist him and help him, and to formulate a way for a young man in the urban community to be able to identify with being homosexual and being proudful of it and standing up and taking a stance. And with all this being said, today he's a great man. He has a career. Actually acquired 2 degrees, working on his third degree at this current moment. So he was able to overcome the fear of being a homosexual man in the urban community. So this is a stance that a lot of people should start taking, and this is an approach that has been taken on. A lot of people are starting to expose themselves and starting to stand up for themselves and express this thing. So, all in all, this is the personal story that has always stuck with me, and I feel as though people should find a story of their own to assist them with this social. I'm not even gonna call it an issue. This social interaction, because it's not an issue. Some people tend to see it as an issue, but it's definitely not an issue. So it's something that we should really stand up and something that we should really approach, especially as inspiring social workers.